The war of words is escalating and so is the politics. Joining us on this broadcast is BJP National Spokesperson and Member of Parliament Dr. Aprajita Sarangi. Subrashra, founder of The Churn, joins us as well. Political analysts Kevin Matthew and Ravi Srivastava with us on this broadcast. But I want to ask my first question to the spokesperson of the TMC, Professor Manojit Monday. Professor Monday, just 2 days ago, Mamata Banerjee came out and said that mistakes happen. She invoked Netaji as well, that, it's natural that mistakes happen and it's natural for course correction and for those mistakes to be rectified as well. Was she referring to Mahua Moitra when she was talking about that? And if yes, then would course correction be done as far as Mahua Moitra is concerned?
No, I do not think she was particularly mentioning about that, because the party has amply made it clear that this particular comment by this particular MP is totally unaccepted by the party. In fact, we did condemn that unequivocally with with the strongest possible terms. But whatever that MP is now doing and saying, it's her own personal capacity. And she herself is claiming, she being a devout Hindu, a Kaali worshipper, has a right to worship Kaali the way she wants. But yes, the semiotics could have been different, the semantics could have been different, the wording could have been different, and that's why even if a single person's sentiment is hard, whether that person is a BJP worker or not, we do not approve of such things. But what the BJP is doing, it's very well for the Prime Minister to lecture about Kaali. What the BJP is doing, do the BJP follow Ramakrishna or Vivekananda? The answer is clearly no. They want to create a monolithic, single, unified India, which is certainly not possible for a particular people. By excluding another, this is not the politics, this is not the wordings of Ramakrishna Paramahansa or Vivekananda when he was delivering that very famous lecture in Chicago in 1893, where he said that I am proud to belong to a nation which shelters people from all religion, of all countries and all communities. Look at the way the BJP is functioning. They talk about Hindus' rights. What are they doing about the Kashmiri Hindus, the Kashmiri Pandits? Right. Are they only relegated to a film called Kashmir Files, so crudely made film, or will they give the rights to the Kashmiri Hindus? Right. Instead, they are now getting aligned with the terrorists in Kashmir, who actually are torturing not just the Hindus but communities irrespective of the religions, in the name of religion. So the BJP cannot lecture us on the Kaali, cannot lecture us on anything.
Aprajita Sarangi, the TMC is very clear. Do not lecture us as far as at least Goddess Kaali and the principles of Swami Vivekananda and Swami Paramahansa is concerned, because we perhaps know more than you.
A very good evening. This smacks of arrogance on part of TMC to say that they know everything about Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahansa. In fact, they should have the humility to accept that their MP has said something which is absolutely wrong and has hurt the sentiments of hundreds and thousands of Hindus across the country. They should have had this humility. And very good question you asked when we started the discussion. You said, do you believe in getting course correction done? I think the TMC must go for course correction immediately. And I have been listening to many spokespersons of the TMC for the past 2-3 days. Each one is saying, we in the strongest possible words, we condemn the act of Mahua. The fact remains that these are double standards. Imagine a particular person would have said, belonging to any other party about Goddess Kaali, they would have jumped at that person and they would have done anything to create an uproar in the country. But right now what they are doing, I think it is for everybody to see. And as far as Nupur Sharma is concerned, as far as we are concerned, I can say with a lot of conviction at my command and with tremendous humility that Bharatiya Janata Party walks the talk always. We suspended the person. We removed her from the position of the spokesperson, and we also kind of removed her from the primary membership of the party. We immediately acted. Now, what is TMC doing except for condemning, this statements of the TMC MP has hurt the sentiments of so many of us. It's not a question of Hindu or Muslim.
Right.
You know, it's a question of hurting the sentiments of the people of the country. I think all of us will agree that what she said was not right. Most of us
right, and Professor Mandal also
now,
there agreed that we do not condone anybody hurting anybody's sentiments. He started with that. The TMC also, Professor Mandal, has been saying exactly that, and which is also why they've been distancing themselves from what Mahua Moitra has been saying or said right 3-4 days ago. But she hasn't stopped. The kind of comments that have come to the fore from her, be it on social media or otherwise, some would say that she's only getting emboldened and she continues to go on this tirade, or at least the BJP would say that is because there is no action that's being taken against her. Forget a public rebuke, there is not even perhaps a private rebuke that's happening.
There is no question of... there is no question of showing any arrogance. We are very certain about our culture, our ethos that is followed in Bengal for ages. It started from Ram Mohan Rai to Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. So that's not the question of arrogance. What we are talking about, our consciousness, the reality of Bengal, which you may not be aware of always, right? Point number 2, why they are foregrounding this particular case is because they want to shield Nupur Sharma. Look at, whatever she is tweeting, Mahua, the party is definitely closely watching. But she is at least in the public domain. Where is Nupur Sharma? When the Supreme Court of India has, somewhat indicted her, aren't they shielding her? Why is she? The country wants to know. She has been not seen for the last 1 month, despite flurry of affairs and comment by the Supreme Court of India. And you talk about insulting Ma Durga. Dilip Ghosh done this. Umpteen number of times. You insulted the biggest Hindu of this world, Mahatma, inside the parliament, Pragya Singh Thakur, and he wanted, the Prime Minister was hurt at that point of time. What happened to her, Pragya Singh Thakur? You can certainly do away with a spokesperson called Nupur Sharma, but you have not done anything to Pragya Singh Thakur. You wanted either, so you don't lecture us. Party, as far as Mahua's comment is concerned, party is closely watching everything. But fact remains that BJP cannot take the moral high ground. They have not done anything with the offenders.
Is that enough? We're monitoring, says the TMC. We've distanced ourselves. We do not condone what she has said. And the BJPs don't want to lecture us because, well, there is a laundry list of leaders who've made similar comments as the TMC there. So can the BJP really, Subhrashra, goes and talk about how the party has been walking the talk?
Ma'am, when
look, I'm not going to comment on any political party.
Said, that the party has been walking the talk. It was actually very funny
because
the
question for
Mr. Matthew, I will come to you. The question was to Subhrashra. I just want her to come in. I'll come back to you.
Look, I'm not going to comment anything on what TMC has done or what BJP has done. The conversation is about Mahua Moitra's comments on Maa Kaali, and I think I would like to restrict myself to that. Because what BJP has done has also, hurt the sentiments of millions of Hindus out there. What TMC has been consistently doing has been hurting Hindu sentiments for quite some time now. So this is a debate where I don't really want to get into. My question is very simple. If the TMC really believes that Mahua was wrong, where is the demand for her resignation? Because it's not like the party rebuked her and she kept quiet. She has called her own party members trolls. She has called her own party people Sanghis, that whosoever is opposing her are Sanghis and trolls. So Manojit Monday should actually, put his own house in order, ask Mahua to represent herself, her constituency, or whatever she is representing, and make her stand clear. Because what she said about Maa Kaali is so baseless, and it doesn't even touch into the larger contours in which we discuss the Shakt, the tradition, and Devi. First of all, in Tarapeeth, and I was talking about it on your Hindi channel, Tarapeeth is a place where goddess Tara is worshipped. She is a form of Kaali, and Kaali has been represented in so many different forms. In Tantric traditions, Kaali is different. In Sattvic Tantra, Kaali is different. In Tamasic Tantra, Kaali is different. There are people who invoke Kaali for different reasons. I don't know what kind of worship Mahua does, but at the end of the day, if a grihast and a Sattvic grihast does a puja of Maa Kaali at home, it is Dakshineshwar Kaali, the Kaali which Ramakrishna Paramhans worshipped. So I don't want to, and you know, first, and the other point is, I don't really want politicians to lecture me about my religion. All right, I don't want them to tell me what they think their representation of goddess is. I am capable of reading my scriptures. I don't come from a, you know, a community which has one book or one pulpit which pronounces what my version of God or goddess is. Let me just follow what I want. But Mahua's version was not that.
Absolutely,
you know,
and that cuts both ways, irrespective of the political party, like Subrashta was saying, Kevin Matthew. But as far as Mahua Moitra is concerned, because we're talking about her and the political fire that has been triggered by the comments that she made and has been then making on social media for the last 2 or 3 days. Now, she's not someone who's a stranger to controversies, especially as far as some would say heaping insults on Hindus as a community is concerned. We've seen the kind of comments that came to the fore when the Gyanvapi issue was in contention, when there was the shivling-like structure that was found there. The kind of comments that came to the fore from her back then. She also made the Chotiwala Rakshas jibe during election campaigning. So for someone who seems to be courting these controversies all the time, perhaps targeting a particular community, shouldn't the party take a harder stand, is what some would ask. Mr. Matthew?
Sorry, the question was to me about TMC. It's not. I think my position to answer on whether the TMC should take a stand, because first thing is TMC, BJP, Congress, each one of these are like political parties for God's sake. They are not really parties. My biggest vision here is why that everything has to be in the BJP. It's like. The problem is the Prime Minister who kept mum when somebody from his own party insulted the father of the nation, came out in support of something that is happening to only one community. See, no, I don't want Hindu sentiments to be offended, but what I'm seeing is like a periscopic stories of actions. So that is my biggest problem. Let it be TMC, let it be BJP, let it be Congress, let it be DBS, let it be any party. Okay, are we talking about political parties or religious parties? That is my first question. And then when the BJP spokesperson said that their party was walking the talk, it was quite funny, because BJP acted only when the whole country was humiliated on a world stage. Till then, I have been on Nupur Sharma's show. I did not have a panel where Nupur Sharma was also on this very time, and he has made so many different statements insulting people. So, and BJP did nothing, absolutely nothing in the whole country and outside India. We are a country for God's sake. You all supposed to be together. And the whole country was humiliated on a world stage. BJP did nothing. So, sir, you don't have a moral icon. You're way down below.
So then, Ravi Srivastava, can anybody claim high moral ground on this, be it the BJP or the TMC? Can either of them preach each other and not practice?
Poonam, none. Fact is, let me first come to the Prime Minister's address today. I think he is suffering from selective amnesia. He never talks about anything about the communal hatred which is circulating across the country. He never talks about the people getting beheaded and their necks are chopped off. He doesn't utter a word about it. And suddenly he remembers that, Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa said this, Kaali said this, Kaali Mata said this, etc., etc. So I think it is all humbug. And first thing I want to say, I stand with Mahua Moitra. It is everybody's own right what way somebody wants to see the Kaali Mata. It is nobody is going to should lecture on this. There are various ways of worshipping Kaali Mata. In Patiala, the arak is given, the non-vegetarian mutton is given. In Indore, the arak is distributed as a prasad, as a bhog. Her own Tara Peeth, which she mentioned about it. So everybody sees his God in his own way. And I am asking a simple moot question. Where is the insult? There is no insult at all. She has talked something about it. She has said that I view my God like this and I worship my Kaali Mata like this. So what is wrong in it? And on the contrary, our BJP friends, that Dilip Ghosh, who asked about the paternity of the Durga Mata in West Bengal, what kind of people they have got with them? All beheading, all murders, their people are involved, whether it is Riaz Akhtari or whether it is a terrorist caught in Jammu was a BJP worker. They have no right to talk about all these things. And the Prime Minister who says, "Dangai apne kapdon se pehchane jate hain." When he will talk about the communal violence in the country, which has been sparked by the Nupur Sharma's statement, and the nation had to go before the world. Nation had to apologize for one stupid comment by a BJP spokesperson.
It was a reckless comment, like you yourself said. It is a stupid comment. The BJP would say that we've acted against her. It's not something that the TMC can claim of. But Aprajita Sarangi, as far as this entire controversy is concerned, you have gone on to say that yes, we've walked the talk, we always have and we always will. But many would say that's not the case, because like our panelists have also been talking about, Dilip Ghosh, still a member of your party, was the former chief of your state unit in West Bengal.
So we are deviating from the central concern. You know, reading between the lines, showing some picture from here, some picture from there will not suffice, will not actually convince people. Here we are talking about denigrating goddess Kaali, who is revered by all, and today Prime Minister Modi's message is loud and clear. In fact, his statements very well express the respect and reverence that we have for goddess Kaali.
Absolutely, and the question that I asked you also now is on the subject, because we were talking about insult of a Hindu deity, insult of Hindus, which is also something, a charge that Dilip Ghosh faces.
Can I come in?
So as long as we're talking about sentiments of a particular community being hurt or a certain community being insulted, Dilip Ghosh can also be accused of the same thing.
Not at all. What has Dilip Ghosh said, and you know, this has to be properly articulated. Is anybody in the country quoting Dilip Ghosh except one or two on TV channels?
I'll tell you.
Now let me tell you the kind of unrest that Mahua's statement has created in the country. I think everyone is aware of. And you know, BJP is opposed to anybody belonging to any religion who hurts the sentiments of others. And today, therefore, our Prime Minister was loud and clear in his message. In fact, that is why he had to come out and say that we have the blessings of goddess Kaali. I think whatever he wanted to say had been conveyed to all extremely well. We derive our spiritual energy from goddess Kaali, and that is why we are helping.
Right, and Professor Mandal, it's interesting that Mahua Moitra, just a few minutes after the Prime Minister had concluded, took to Twitter and, spoke about Amit Malviya and the Prime Minister. Some would say that the message the Prime Minister was sending was exactly on point, given the kind of reaction that came in from Ms. Moitra.
No. I can't actually resist commenting on my friend from BJP, how sweetly convenient her, argument was. Talk about Kaali, Maa Kaali, but not Maa Durga. Madam must be knowing that Maa Kaali was also one form of Maa Durga. So your very important again member of parliament is insulting Maa Durga. Not just please, madam, have courtesy. You are better than other spokespersons, madam.
I'll let you an opportunity to rebut him. Let him finish.
Please, this is not the way.
And I request to all my panelists to not speak over each other. I will give everyone an opportunity.
And Sita Maya, they talk about, Jai Siaram. Sita Maya is a test tube baby. Who said this? One chief minister, he was chief minister of Tripura at that point of time. What are you talking about? And you always refer to Bengal, not you, madam, some of your spokespersons on TV, as Islamic State. What is this? This is not insult to Kaali Ma and the people of Bengal, irrespective of their religion. You talk of Mamta Banerjee as Mamta Begum on TV. What are you talking about? And this particular former spokesperson has been making such comment, and she did it deliberately to incite violence. Deliberate, I repeat. Miss Nupur Sharma did it deliberately to incite violence. That was not the first time she was saying incidentally on your TV, your channel, but did it before as well. It was deliberate, and every other night these people sit on TV spewing absolute communal violence.
What Mahua said, we condemn. But it may not be to insult, deliberately to insult people. Even then, we believe semiotics could have been different, semantics could have been different, wording could have been different, mode of representation should have been different. That's Mahua to decide later on. Party is watching, party has condemned it, and party will definitely
party is watching, and party agrees that what she said could have been said differently. Aprajita Sarangi, you wanted to rebut, Mr. Mandal.
I am just asking my friend from TMC, will you put your house in order? Will you stop deviating from the central concern today? The subject of today's debate is Mahua's reckless statements. And please don't hide, please don't divert, please don't escape. Please answer, what is TMC doing to rectify what has been done? And continuously she has been issuing reckless statements through her tweets.
Listen to that.
What are you doing?
Listen to that.
Yes, Professor Mandal, 30 seconds.
I mean, the
Aprajita Sarangi, you put your question across. I gave Professor Mandal 30 seconds. I'm running out of time. I need to get in the other panelists as well. Professor Mandal, 30 seconds.
We with about putting our house in order. You had 77 MLAs 1 year back. Now we are only 70. One MP Arjun Singh came back. Others are also coming back. You are talking about ordering our house, madam. People will laugh at you. But I will say continue that. Continue that. You had 77 MPL 1 year back, now 70. It will come down to 50 by the time you reach.
And Professor Mandal, we're digressing from the subject now. We're talking about the fact that sentiments were hurt. Several FIRs have also been registered against Mahua Moitra. Until very long ago, Subhrashtra, there were several complaints that were filed in West Bengal against Ms. Moitra, but those complaints weren't converted into FIRs. Now the party says that, we're monitoring. When the time is right, we perhaps will pull her up. But for how long and when are they going to be drawing that line, and where do you draw that line?
You're asking me?
The line should have been drawn the day TMC came out with an official communique and Mahua went on a tweeting, parade, trying to show herself above all the organizational, might that the TMC has. Now, since this is an internal matter of the TMC, I don't really have much say in that regard. But if it were really a party run by Karyakartas and run by common general sentiments on ground, Mahua should have been fired that very day. I don't think a party which boasts of presenting India's second Prime Minister after Mr. Modi should really be so concerned about losing one MP. Right. She has always courted controversies. Whenever she feels that she is getting irrelevant, she has started quoting controversy, and this is a common tactics employed by most politicians, that if nobody is paying attention to you, say something innocuous so that television discussions can happen. Today, at the end of the day, let us please accept this fact that digitally and electronically, Mahua is being chased by anchors and people in the media to give bites after bites. Today we are having a conversation on Mahua Moitra. This is exactly what an MP from Krishnanagar wants. Otherwise, there are more than 500 MPs in this country. Do we really care which MP says what?
Right,
so can't we not see the whole,
relevant and to stay in the news? Some, like Subhrashtra said, some would say yes.
TMC.
I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I'm really running out of time. Whether or not there is a public or a private rebuke that happens for Mahua Moitra, only time will tell. For now, the party continues to say that we're monitoring the situation. When the time is right, we perhaps will take that action, or maybe not, because the BJP cannot lecture us on that. As far as this entire controversy is concerned, the political fireworks are only escalating with each passing day. I thank all my panelists for joining us here on this heated debate. At that, a quick break. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.